Good morning, chat. DeVeo, what's up, my friend? How are you? Sorry, a little bit slow this morning, man. But we're here. We made it. May 22nd. It's Sunday. I hope everybody's weekend's going very well. It's good to see everybody. This will be our second day of the weekend to be doing our Lost Art content. Mr. Overthinker, what's up, buddy? Today we're going to start our Destroyer alt. So our first character to be created other than our primary character, right? It'll be the new subclass for the warrior that came out, the Destroyer, a big old hammer wielding character. So we'll do that. First, we're going to go ahead and do what we do every day. We're going to jump into our video gaming news segment, okay? Get that Java. Or whatever your beverage of choice is. Whatever. I need that coffee, especially this morning. Let me pull this up and start taking a look at what we can find today that we potentially haven't gone over or seen in the previous news segments, okay? There we go. Let's go. Get my camera out of the way. Hope everybody's weekend's going well again. It's great to see everybody. Let's get this going. I'll switch over to news. We've already hit on the, Nintendo is apparently incorporating anti-cheat into their system now, which is something I think has been needed for a long time. I'm glad they're finally doing it. We talked about this yesterday, the Suikoden games coming. Animal Crossing is getting its own nature encyclopedia in Japan. Okay, cool. Let's take a look. Doing good? Good, Devea. I'm glad. Good to hear it. Good to hear it, my friend. We hit this yesterday. I will probably just continue to throw the link in chat occasionally where it gives us kind of a comprehensive list of the showcases coming up between June and August, yeah, where no E3, right? So a lot of individual showcases as well as like some Summer Game Fest stuff, things like that. We've already talked about the Epic sale, mega sale going on right now. You can get 25% off if there's anything you want, or potentially if you grabbed some of their free games previously that didn't include DLC, such as the free game right now. Excuse me. Yeah. Which is Borderlands 3. It doesn't come with the DLC, but you can potentially get the DLC and get 25% off right now, yeah? Take a look. I'm not going to dive into this. We've talked about this kind of thing a lot. Risks and benefits of playing video games. There are many on both sides of that fence, right? We talk about a lot of them quite often, so I'm not going to jump in here. It always ends up coming up, right? Because this is the world we live in. This is. I mean, as far as video games, this is what we do, and it's the world we love. It's like anything in life. There's good and bad, right? And we talk about it quite often, so I'm not going to dive in this morning on it. Halo co-creator reacts to the TV series, not the Halo I made. All right, we'll take a look at that. Here we go. Look, from what we understand right now, the three major development studios that are potentially going to be selling or being acquired. That sounds spicy. Yeah, you're talking about this. So I'll comment on the Halo thing in a second. EA, Square Enix, and Ubisoft are the three that we have been hearing around the rumor mill. Okay. Ubisoft has apparently been cleaning up shop to sell. We've seen Square Enix doing kind of the same thing. And there were a few rumors, not like there were around Square Enix, and well, we've already seen Square Enix sell off all its North American studios, right? But there were some rumors that EA could be looking to sell as well, but we hadn't heard as much on that front as we have heard with the Ubisoft and Square Enix things. Did it not update? Oh, dude, it didn't update. Yeah, thank you, thank you. I've had that happen a few times. Yeah, it like I guess when I click save, it just reverts back to it was already set at, and I didn't realize it. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Overthinker. I appreciate it, buddy. We should be good now. Should be good. Yep, yep. It looks good. It looks good now. I was in a rush this morning. In a rush. So thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. So here we go. That's why I have you amazing people to keep me on track, man. No, you're good. You're good. No worries. We're good. We're good, buddy. I appreciate it. So here we are, right? EA looking to sell. The only thing this is the thing that I would hope, right? And it's what I've kind of expressed. We'll talk about this more once we get into this article. What I would hope is that many of us as gamers hate EA. We hate that gaming dev and publisher. Um, what I would hope is that if they do sell, they sell to a company that is committed to improving the quality of their titles. Kind of in the same realm of why I wasn't necessarily. Competition's good. Acquisitions to make these big juggernauts in the industry isn't always a great thing. But sometimes we have these studios that need to have somebody come in, take over, and make them better, right? Same exact thing with Blizzard and Activision. That dev was just miserable, right? There's so much conflict, controversy, toxic stuff going on throughout that company, bad management, supervision stuff. It was pretty terrible. Microsoft comes in, buys, and I think Microsoft can actually do a very good job at turning that dev around, probably. That's what I would hope for this kind of acquisition, too. We hate EA. Hopefully, somebody would be able to come in and take over EA and produce better content, better games than what EA is doing right now. We'll get more into that in a moment. Hideo Kojima seemingly responds to Death Stranding report with cryptic tweet. We saw yesterday in the news segment. If you didn't catch it, go look at the news segment yesterday on YouTube. Uh, Norman Reedus actually told in an interview that Death Stranding 2 is happening. Commented twice during the interview. So here is a little bit more coming out apparently on that front. Okay, Sonic Frontiers, the new Sonic game. So targeting high review scores according to Sega. So we'll see what that's about. Kind of more of an open world 3D Sonic game, right? If you haven't seen it, it looks like it could be decent. I've only seen mostly cinematics at this point, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to dive into this. The differences between what the game is going to present with us as Gotham Knights and the CW show, the differences between both. I'm not going to dive into that. We already have an article up about EA, so I'm not going to dive into this one as well. June shaping up to be a massive month for gaming. Let's see what's going on there. One of the reasons June is going to be such a massive month for gaming is because we have so many showcases as well, right? So a lot of anticipated games, even some that maybe we haven't heard of that these devs are excited to bring to us and show us that they're working on. That's what June's going to be. So even if there aren't a ton of game releases, we will find out a lot about games that are currently in development, right? Which is always exciting for us as gamers, yeah? Hit that yesterday. That was the Norman Reedus stuff. We've already hit about this too. Prime Gaming is offering some free Pokemon Go goodies. So if you play or you're interested in playing Pokemon Go and you have Amazon Prime, go grab some free. Excuse me. Go grab some free goodies for the game. Yeah. PlayStation Plus free PS4 and PS5 games we may get for June. I mean, PS Plus isn't free though, so why are they being called? I mean, are they going to say free to own? Maybe I don't. We'll see what that has to say. Maybe if you're part of PlayStation Plus, you'll get some actual free games to own on PS4, PS5, PS4 titles. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Um, I'm not going to dive into this, but it looks like there's some reports that Nvidia's data center sales could likely eclipse their gaming sales. I don't know necessarily why they would say that would be might not be a good thing. Look, Nvidia Nvidia is doing very well across the board. Um, they're more well known for their gaming hardware, right? But they are branching. They've branched out. They've got a lot of different sectors that they're in the tech market, tech industry, and as long as Nvidia is doing well, I feel like that's good for gaming. They are the best maker of graphics hardware in the world, right? So I don't know why that would necessarily be a bad thing. I'm not gonna dive into that one this morning though. Let's change our search up. Look at video gaming news. We talked about this yesterday. Yes, could be cool. Could be cool. We'll see. We've already talked about this as well about 3 days ago in the news segment. How it feels to build a video game and watch it die. They're that article is literally talking about mostly live service games. And how it feels as a dev to put so much time and effort into a live service game and either watch it fail and just kind of die and never be able to play it again because the servers get taken down, stuff like that, can't access the game anymore, or a game that does decent or well even, and but obviously the way it works now, there's some titles like World of Warcraft that are live service and have continued on for decades at this point. But um, most games are going to have an amount of life, and even if they're doing well, they're going to end up dying, right? That's the way it is. So either way, live service games traditionally are not something that you can continue to access after the developers decided to quit supporting them, right? Well, this is the thing. Overthinker. Yeah, I mean, I could do that. The thing is, I don't mind coming across articles I've already hit on in previous news segments because not everybody's already seen the previous news segments, right? And it gives me a chance to at least like kind of summarize TLDR, some of the stuff we came over in those articles. The thing is, we don't, a lot of what gets convoluted here with what we find in these searches is that it's not just video gaming news either. And at least having some of the older stuff, more pertinent stuff come up in the search again is okay to me. Whereas you'll already see where, like, some of the articles that come up are not video games like we consider video games. It'll be like gambling video game stuff for states and what they're trying to incorporate and things like, and that's not what we're diving into. So the more the more we filter, the less content I'm able to kind of gather and at least touch on that we've already hit and stuff like that. So that's why I do it like that. Yeah. I've tried it. I've tried it. And we still hit a lot of the big stuff that's new for us that we haven't seen from the day previously. And if we miss stuff, that's why I always ask people to bring it to us, right? And you'll see quite often we have a lot of people in the community that are heavily interested in staying current in the industry, and sometimes even after we finish the news segment, new news will come out like immediately after, and we have a lot of awesome community members that will bring that information to us, and we'll take time to like touch on it before we hit it the next day or whatever. Yeah, it's awesome. But that's just why I do it like that. We talked about the new Justice League game revealed. There's not much about it yet. Just this little short chibi character kind of video that was thrown out. But at least we know one's in dev. If anybody's interested in Justice League content, we hit about this as well. Bungie specifically is very outspoken about their stance on certain very prominent issues in the world. And some other studios are starting to follow suit, show where their values lie, and that they're dedicated to supporting their employees in regards to some of those issues. Yeah, which is amazing. It's good. I feel. I have a hard time not diving into these kinds of articles, but it's not really news. It's just fun stuff. So quite often our news segments will go we'll already go like hour and a half. And hi Clutch, what's up? What? What? We've already talked about this as well. You've met this overthinker man? Yeah. um. So we've hit on this as well. TLDR, a lot of companies, especially in the entertainment industry, whether it be social media, streaming services, what have you, they are pivoting into video games. It's not going to be easy for them. I don't expect to see many of them thrive in it, in the video game industry. But it's a huge market, and I'm not surprised to see it either. Hi, Clutch. How are you, buddy? You might be overthinking. Yeah, yeah. We saw this yesterday as well. What Jeff Keighley teases is potentially to come at Summer Game Fest. So we hit on that. If you're interested, go take a look at yesterday's news segment on YouTube. We've already hit on this as well. And the Netflix stuff was yesterday as well. Oh, hi, Clutch. You've been trying Valheim the last few days. What do you think, buddy? What do you think? It definitely does not hold your hand, man. That is not a game that holds your hand and makes figuring out how to get certain things done very easy. So, the game is amazing. I was fortunate enough to have, streaming it. I had a lot of people here that were just like, very good at helping me understand how to get specific things done. Not spoiler wise, but it was very very nice having some people kind of nudge me in the right direction, hints and tips and stuff. Are you enjoying it? Yeah, it's very neat. It's a great game. It's a great game. I had a pretty brutal day on Friday, but I'm loving the game. It's fantastic. It's gonna be hard to quit playing it. This is terrible. I'm not gonna dive into this article. We talk about this a lot. It's children being involved in online communities, whether it be just on the internet or actual communities in gaming, what have you. it's There is the potential for a lot of bad stuff to happen. Oh, you just beat the first boss? Nice, High Clutch. That's awesome. That's awesome, buddy. You'd be more than welcome to hop in our server if you wanted to. I mean, we're only playing it Monday through Friday, so I don't know if that would work for you. But I know quite often you're like going to sleep around the time the stream's starting and everything. But if you're ever interested, let me know, dude. We'll get you in on our server as well. Again, there are all kinds of bad things that kids can be presented with, especially because they're young, they're very impressionable, moldable, and there are bad people online that will take advantage of that, befriend these children, and groom them for whatever the purpose may be, um, but bad nonetheless. And across the board, there are all kinds of people that are just looking to do that for terrible, terrible reasons. And ultimately, it's something that we need to do a better job of trying to regulate in the tech industry. But it also comes down to these children being their guardians ultimately are responsible for keeping up with what the kids are being exposed to and introduced to online and stuff like that. There's a lot that goes into it. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It absolutely is overthinking. We've touched on it a lot. We've touched on it a lot in this community, and look, it's not always easy. It's not always easy, but ultimately, the guardians of children, whoever that may be, it's their responsibility to the utmost extent make sure that they maintain a close watch on what kids are being exposed to, right? And or accessing whatever. There are there are a lot of terrible people in the world. There are a lot of good people in the world too. Um, but as with anything in our world, right? In our world, there are a lot of good uses of technology and the internet, and there are a lot of ways people will use it for negative as well, right? And we just need to do everything we can to try to protect kids, protect young impressionable people from being involved or not involved, but well involved, as well as just being confronted with that kind of thing. Kids should be allowed to just be kids, man. They shouldn't have to worry about people doing these kinds of things to them, man. It's terrible. It's terrible. May have to working on some studying stuff. Oh, okay. Play alone for months. Oh, hi clutch. I'm sorry. Oh, you know? Yo, gamer, what's up, my friend? How are you, dude? Lord of the Rings Gollum Insider teases imminent news. Here we go. Here we go. We're probably going. I think this game is supposed to release later this year, so I'm guessing we're going to get a pretty good look coming up at the beginning of next month at some of the showcases. Nintendo has sold 5.4 billion NES video games to Switch. Take a look at that as well. All right, let's end it there. We'll see what these articles have for us. Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad that you're all here. Happy Sunday. Let's do this. Oh, for real? Yeah? All right. I hope you haven't met me on a bathtub stream. Good night. Yo, Ava, what's up, my friend? How are you? There you go. There's that Java. That Java. How are you, Ava? Animal Crossing is getting its own nature encyclopedia in Japan. The book is said to be an educational tool for kids. Miss that Java emote? Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Nice. Goog. Excuse me. Very goog. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear it. The spinning one? You're talking about that one? You talking about that one? My mug on the mug. There you go, Ava. Thank you, my friend. The book and accompanying 57-minute long DVD are meant to teach players about the ecology of the game and provide facts and information about the various fish, butterflies, and more that are found in Animal Crossing. Oh, yeah. We love that Java, man. We love that Java. The book will feature information about all 235 species found in the game, although from the released images, this appears to be a small infographic for each species. Look at this. That's pretty cool, man. Look at that. That's wild. That's pretty neat. That dude, there are a lot of people that love this game. They love Animal Crossing, man. The book, which is currently scheduled to be released in Japan on July 29th, isn't currently scheduled for an English translation. Really? It's being positioned by Nintendo as an educational tool, using the creatures from Animal Crossing in order to teach kids about sea life and insects. Former Nintendo of America president and COO Reggie recently suggested that Animal Crossing could be a good fit for blockchain technology. Oh my gosh, dude. Speaking during an SXSW panel this year, he said, yeah, we already know that. Believed a blockchain could work in gaming if it's implemented from a player's perspective. If it can be implemented in a way that is good for players. Yeah, but it's nobody's doing that right now. Uh, e- yeah. Well, I mean that's the way a lot of Nintendo games are, right, Mr. Overthinker? Uh, a lot of Nintendo games, especially the very popular ones. It doesn't matter. I mean, talk about Mario Kart, Breath of the Wild, Smash, right? Animal Crossing. Those games, they very rarely ever come off that like $50 US price tag, right? Um, I use US because that's where I'm at, and that's what I know the prices to be. But here's the thing: if you keep your eyes open, and I usually, during the news segments, I try very hard to make sure that any time I come across any kind of news for sales of games or free games, stuff like that, I make sure the community's aware. Because I'm a shopper, man. I'm a shopper. I try to get things that I want on sale. If I don't need it right now, I try to keep a good eye open. Here's another site you guys can use as well. Um, and I don't know if it's where all net or slick deals is potentially applicable for across the world. But this site right here, slickdeals.net, is a very good site for trying to keep an eye out for specific things that you're looking to purchase and find them on sale. It's kind of a community driven website, okay? So I'll give you a bit of a show here on how it works. So you type in Animal Crossing, right? And these are sales that have been posted by other community members saying, hey, I found Animal Crossing on sale. You can look at reviews. The more like thumbs up it has is the better that people feel about the sell of the game. There are reviews like we'll just pull one up here. So it was $40 on Amazon, Walmart, Staples as of what the end of last month. Yeah, for sure. It's a good site. And again, I mean, it's a community driven site, right? So you'll get information on, like, even just this one that was promoted as, what was this one promoted as? For Walmart. So you see it's promoted as Walmart, but whoever posted this actually put in here as well that you can get it at like Target and GameStop for the same price. And then you'll see like reviews down here at the bottom of people talking about their experience of whatever that item is, whether it be a game or a piece of tech or whatever, a toothbrush, doesn't matter, right? So buy before you think. Yeah. But I mean, this is a pretty nice site, right? It even says this deal has expired. You could even look for like things like this, like right now you can actually you can filter this out to only be like consoles and stuff. But if you type in something like PlayStation 5, it's going to come up with like a bunch of games and things like that as well. Here's a camera for it, but you can like narrow it down to just consoles and stuff like that. But it's a pretty decent site. But you're right. Sorry, gamer. Sorry, buddy. Lesson learned, I guess. Lesson learned for you. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, man. That sucks. Um, a lot of those really popular Nintendo games, they just don't go on sale very often. You'll find much better sales on those games during like the end of the year. Yeah, like from end of November through the 1st of January, you'll see those titles go on sale for like the holiday season more often. But there are ways to keep track, find some sales. I'm the same way. Um, I bet I'd have some takers here today if I wanted to sell my Animal Crossing Island from the latest Nintendo Switch version. I'd like to be able to monetize that. Blockchain technology embedded in the code and into development would enable me to do that. Uh, yeah, we've already read about all of the ex CEOs talk about wanting Nintendo to incorporate NFT blockchain stuff into their games, and my opinion is that the gaming world is not ready for it because the devs are not committed to incorporating it in a way that is mutually beneficial for us as gamers and for them as a business, right? It's just we're not there. So it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I would actually go as far as to say that it needs to be more beneficial for us than it would need to be for the devs for it to be incorporated. For us to be okay with it, you know? We'll see, though. We'll see. They're all pushing hard. But that's cool. They're coming out with a little encyclopedia for Animal Crossing. It's kind of an educational thing, and that's pretty neat. I would hope that they would translate it to many other languages because I think that's really cool. Animal Crossing is a very, very, very popular game for Nintendo players, gamers in general, and to have something like that for a younger audience to help educate about a lot of the things that are found within the game that are real life animals, insects, what have you. I think is really neat. What a cool incorporation. Yeah, for sure, Mr. Overthinker. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Halo co-creator reacts to TV series, not the Halo I made. Okay, so this is what I'll say. Before we even get into this, we all know that they're making all kinds of movies and TV series based on video games, right? It is very, very popular nowadays. Um, I have not watched it, but what I basically heard was like the first four, or not even just heard, but what I had read as well on opinions of the show was like the first four episodes were kind of doo doo. They were not very good, from what I understand. And then the fifth episode came along, and it definitely incorporated more of what you would be used to regarding the games, right? A lot more of the weapons you see in the games, a lot of action, a lot of enemies you see in the game, and stuff like that. I don't know how it has progressed past that, but from what I understand, like the first four episodes basically were just like, there were a lot of people upset. They didn't enjoy it. But the fifth episode might have kind of turned that all around and continued to bring it to a nice level. I don't know. That's what I've read, anyways. Mr. Overthinker, have you watched it, or has anybody else in chat watched the Halo stuff that so far? I have not watched the Halo television show on Paramount Plus, so I have no opinions on it. Former Halo art director Marcus Leto has seen it, however, and he does have opinions, and he hasn't been shy about sharing them on Twitter. Nah, yeah. I've never been a huge Halo person. I have a lot of friends that have been, but for me personally, I've never been big into Halo. Leto was with Bungie from the early days, credited for graphics and artwork on Myth, The Fallen Lords, before becoming art director on Halo Combat Evolved. A role he held through Halo 2 and 3. He then served as creative director on Halo Reach, the last Halo game to be developed by Bungie before leaving the studio in 2012. Yeah, yeah. Well, and for me, it's not even much of the recent Halo stuff. I'm much more. All of my friends used to play the older Halo games. They loved the multiplayer stuff on there and everything, and I played a little bit of it. I dabbled in it, but I just never really jumped into that series. Write and publish video game articles because I say doo doo. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Um, I actually have a sibling that is an amazing writer. Amazing writer. Doesn't even do it as a profession. Does it as a hobby. Um, and is an incredible, incredible writer. I'm talking about the kind of writing that like hits you in the feels. Really, really, just eloquent, very like an absolute wordsmith, as it were. And I've always been in awe of my siblings' ability to write like that. Very, very good. Favorite Halo is the one by Beyonce. That's good. Uh, he's been sharing a few of them on Twitter. I'm still getting through the series. Lots of mixed emotions and opinions. He said last weekend when a follower, asked him about it. That opinion seemed to harden a couple of days later, though. I'm not sure where the inspiration for the show comes from now. He tweeted during a conversation with followers, "Not the Halo I made." In response to another fan, he quickly clarified the point: "The Halo I helped make." Sounds pretty harsh, but Leto later noted that he wasn't implying criticism, just change. For clarity, I never said I don't like it, he tweeted later on. It's just so different than the Halo I helped make. It's like a different universe. I actually liked some of the battle scenes. Cool action, some great VFX. In particular, the plasma hit effects in episode 1 are spot on. Yeah, I mean, I do. I do, gamer. I would say that, yeah, I mean, I appreciate you saying that. I do. I'm a bit versed in life at this point, right? I've learned a lot of I don't know. I'm from the school of hard knocks, man. I've learned a lot of hard lessons in life. And if, so it's led to me having some significant um, thoughts and viewpoints on life and just trying to help create a better world, right? Um, so I am passionate about some of that kind of stuff, right? And I mean that's really the reason that I created this community in the way that I wanted. The foundation I laid, which you guys are ultimately helping to create, is an amazing place for us to be and feel safe and welcome and everything. That's a big part of it. Inclusive and non-judgmental and open, civil people, right? It was important for me, and a lot of that comes from my life experiences, as well as just being passionate about gaming. I love gaming. I always have. And I'm at this point now in my life where I have this opportunity to share that love with other people, right? And I absolutely love this. Now, I would say that if you're here and you're part of the community, especially like enjoying the news segments and stuff, you're right there along with me. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So I am by far not the most educated person on the industry or anything like that, but I absolutely love it. It is the world that I love and like to be a part of all the time, and I feel like most of you are the same exact way. So it's just such a pleasure to be able to be here and do this with all of you every single day. I love it, man. I love it. Not too hard to understand Leto's perspective. He's one of the original leading figures responsible for the creation of Halo, so he's bound to have deep connections to it. Also, been away from the series for well over a decade. Halo Reach came out in 2010. Things have changed a lot since then, and it's fair for Leto, or anyone really, to say that it's cool, but it ain't my Halo. It ain't my Halo. To be fair, the Halo series didn't exactly knock our socks off either, although chatter around the virtual office suggests some have warmed to it. It's amazing what a little. Oh, probably there's. Well, they probably show some. I don't know what they're getting across by this. It's amazing what a little butt can do. I don't know if maybe they show some stuff in the like some nudity maybe in show or something. I don't know. When he's not talking about the Halo TV series on Twitter, Leto is heading up a new studio at EA, where he's working on the Battlefield series. Yo, what a hot mess that is. Yeah, I don't know what they're getting across by this statement here. I have no idea. It's kind of cryptic a little bit. But, wow. I would imagine this individual probably wishes he was still with Bungie and not heading up or working on the Battlefield series at EA. I could only expect. Battlefield is a hot mess. That game tanked. The latest one, anyways, tanked. It was terrible. I didn't even play it. I didn't even need to. There's so much information out there about how bad that game was or is. You can find it. You can find it. That's EA for you, though, right? Speaking of EA, the Madden and Apex Legends publisher is apparently looking for a way out, looking to sell or merge. Video game market is consolidating like never before, and EA is scrambling like everyone else. Battlefield and FIFA Maker, let's stop right here. Um, they are publishing their last FIFA game this year. They are no longer in a contract with FIFA. EA has said they're going to keep making their soccer or football, whatever you want to call it, not American football, soccer, European football games under the new name of EA Sports FC. Whereas FIFA is now no longer going to be in cahoots with EA. They are going to have other developers working on creating new games for them. Recently pursued a merger with NBC Universal, also held potential acquisition talks with Disney, Apple, and other companies, according to a new report by Puck. While a deal isn't currently in the works, it doesn't sound like EA plans to give up anytime soon. In recent years, as media companies have taken greater interest in the rapidly growing gaming industry, Wilson and Electronic Arts have held talks with a number of different potential suitors, including Disney, Apple, and Amazon. Sources with knowledge of those talks told me. Wrote Puck's veteran media reporter Dylan Byers. You guys are awesome. Several sources familiar with these talks say EA has been persistent in pursuing a sell and has only gotten more emboldened in the wake of the Microsoft Activision deal. Others say that EA is primarily interested in a merger arrangement that would allow Wilson to remain as chief executive of the combined company. But apparently, it was apparently a deal with NBC Universal that got the farthest along, according to buyers. Comcast CEO Brian Roberts was looking to spin off the entertainment conglomerate to a separate entity with EA, with one version of the deal leaving current CEO Andrew Wilson in charge of the new mega business. Negotiations eventually fell apart over price, however. Yeah, big surprise. We don't comment on rumors and speculation regarding relating to M&A. EA spokesperson John Reisberg told Kotaku in a statement. We are proud to be operating from a position of strength and growth with a portfolio of amazing games built around powerful IP, made incredibly talented teams, and a network of more than 500 million players. See a very bright future ahead. I'm gonna bring something up real quick. One second. It literally this was a quote we saw not too long ago in our news segment. Okay, um, and I saved it because I loved it. This was a quote by a developer, kind of slamming a lot of the other big devs in the industry. Um, King Kibby, what's up, buddy? How are you? Um, and I saved it because it is such a fantastic quote, and it's the way so many of us gamers feel about these industries like EA, right? They, and they being insert whatever dev fits the bill here, right, are companies that don't value games or game fans, gamers, right? Yuji Naka, fantastic quote because it is absolutely pertinent and it fits the bill for so many of these gaming developers that basically just they don't value games. They don't value us as consumers of games or fans of gaming. They've lost sight of what video games are supposed to be as something fun for us, and they just solely rely on leaning basically all the way across some of these very popular titles they have. It's not about creating good games, progressing in the games they already have and making them better. It's just about money. And I love this quote. It's so good. Um, if I remember correctly, that was a dev that was working on a game that kind of got hyped up, was supposed to be pretty good, and then 6 months before the game was released, I can't remember right off the top of my head what the game was. He was saying they needed to get a lot of other stuff done for the game to be good, and I can't remember what dev it was. I think it was Square Enix. I think it was Square Enix. Booted him from working on the project. Yeah, and that's where he was like, "This is ridiculous. Like these companies are not committed." Oh, that's been EA Overthinker. That's been EA for ever now, forever. Look, I was really big into playing the NHL games. I used to pre-order those games every year for PlayStation, and this was, close to a decade ago. But they got to where they were kind of really butchering the games. They didn't feel fun anymore. You could tell that EA was just focused on trying to suck as much money as they could out of the games. And I quit playing them. I was like, I am not supporting that company anymore. So I understand completely. And those are not. They do it in like almost every single title that is underneath them. It's really really terrible. They've been doing it for a long time. Um, and again, that's what I was getting at earlier. I would love to see EA get bought out. As long and look, I'm all about competition, right? We need competition. Uh, we don't need just a few big juggernaut game devs. That's what this is kind of turning into. These big gaming companies are soaking up all these other devs. You're seeing it happen. But I think that there are a few of these major companies in the gaming industry that definitely need to be acquired and completely revamped. So my hope would be that if EA does get acquired, they get acquired by a reputable gaming company, something like that, that would try to change their content for the better, right? Yo, oh, King, I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, all good, buddy. Just be safe, man. Be safe. Yeah, sorry you're having some vehicle issues. That sucks, man. But yeah, it's good to see you, buddy. Yeah, no worries, buddy. No worries, man. Um, just be safe, dude. Uh, we don't. Yeah, 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 yeah. We don't comment on rumors and speculation. Quit. Relating to M&A, John Reesberg told Kotaku, proud to be operating from a position of strength and growth with a portfolio of amazing games. Yeah, we saw the bright future. Yep. Over the past year, there's been a frenzy of video game studio acquisitions. Uh, yep. Sent into overdrive in January after Grand Theft Auto publisher Take-Two announced it was buying Zynga for $12.7 billion. Microsoft then bought Activision Blizzard for $69 billion. Then Sony grabbing Bungie for $3.6 billion. Square Enix just sold off all of its North American studios, dev studios, to Embracer Group, along with their IPs of Thief, Deus Ex, and Tomb Raider. So there are all kinds of this stuff happening. Now, that one was much smaller price wise than a lot of these others we just came across at only 300 million. I know that I shouldn't say only, but in relation to some of these other acquisitions and sales we've seen, it's kind of minuscule, especially considering what they got out of that. In an earnings call in February, Andrew Wilson implied the company was focused on making acquisitions rather than being acquired. As evidence, EA spent $5 billion over the last year buying up studios to increase its size. But now it appears the publisher has been aggressively pursuing other ways of scaling up. Buyers reports that Wilson approached Disney as recently as March in pursuit of what sources described as a more meaningful relationship than licensing deals. This news comes as EA has lost or abandoned some of its biggest existing licensing deals, while the publisher recently revealed 3 new Star Wars games currently in production, including a new Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, rumored to release in early 2023. Its exclusivity deal with Disney for the Star Wars license isn't going to be renewed when it expires in 2023. That's allowed competitors like Quantic Dream and Ubisoft to announce their own big Star Wars projects. EA also revealed last week that it's ending, their 10-year exclusivity deal with FIFA. We just talked about that, yeah? Rebranding their so they're going to keep making that game, right? They're going to keep making those soccer football games. And just renaming them EA Sports FC, and they're going to take all the FIFA stuff out of them. Whatever EA's future holds, one big concern with consolidation is how it will ultimately impact employees at these companies. Even as EA's reported another profitable year, Kotaku recently learned that an estimated 200 customer service staff are being laid off. According to 4 of the impacted employees, their work is being outsourced to cheaper third-party vendors in Romania and India. Comcast, Disney, and Apple did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Oh, EA. It doesn't even, it makes me feel gross just saying their name, man. I hate it. I would love to see them get acquired by a company that would be committed to increasing the quality of the IPs and content that EA has under their brand. That is about the only way I would like to see them get acquired. Otherwise, it's just adding to the problem we have in the industry right now of creating these big juggernaut developers. Uh, so this is a continuation of kind of what we came across yesterday with Norman Reedus confirming in an interview that they are making Death Stranding 2, okay? Hideo Kojima seemingly responds to Death Stranding 2 report with cryptic tweet. Designer tells Norman Reedus to go to your private room after the actor's sequel claim. Look at this. That's really funny, man. On Friday, actor Norman Reedus, the star of the original Death Stranding game, claimed that he just started the second one when discussing the Kojima Productions game with digital publication Leo Edit. Officially, Kojima Productions has not said what its next video game project will be. Now, Kojima has potentially acknowledged the report with a cryptic tweet posted on Saturday. Post contains several images of Kojima and Ritas together, including one in which the designer is pretending to stage a mock execution of the actor. Go to your private room, my friend, Kojima wrote, referencing the private room players are able to visit in the Death Stranding game. That's really funny, dude. That's really funny. I like it. Sony published Death Stranding for PS4 in November 2019, and 505 Games released it for PC in July 2020. The director's cut hit PS5 last year and was released for PC in early 2022. In March 2020, Ritas revealed he was in talks to work on another project with Kojima, and last August he said he believed Death Stranding 2 was going to happen as discussions had begun about a sequel. Previously, Ritas was originally in line to work on a new entry in the Silent Hill franchise directed by Kojima and Del Toro. The project was canceled by publisher Konami following the release of a playable teaser called PT and a falling out with the video game designer. Now, we also know that recently there were screenshots of a new Silent Hill game that got leaked and were put out on Twitter, right? There have been rumors for years about a new Silent Hill, right? But it kind of felt like it was falling out, as we kind of read here, right? But within the past week, images of a new potential Silent Hill had hit Twitter, and I think it's basically a really good predictor that a new Silent Hill is coming because, within the hour of them getting posted on Twitter, Konami had come out and put a DMCA claim on those images, and they got removed, right? So it's a pretty good bet at this point that a new Silent Hill is coming, potentially fairly soon. Last November, Kojima Productions announced it had established a TV and film studio based in Los Angeles. According to Kojima, its work will begin in earnest this year. So there we go. Death Stranding 2. This is actually hilarious, too. I love this. That's really funny. Okay, any Sonic fans out there? Sonic Frontiers targeting high review scores according to Sega. Follows a poor critical reception to previous 3D Sonic games. Sega has said it is targeting high review scores for the upcoming Sonic Frontiers. Why would anybody not target high review scores for a game they were putting out? I don't know. After recent mainline Sonic the Hedgehog games had middling reviews. This goal for the newest entry in the franchise was revealed by Sega in a transcription of its investor question and answer panel for the last fiscal year. When asked if Sega is setting target scores for Sonic Frontiers, the company said, "We have set internal targets as the correlation between the scores of external evaluation organizations and sales is high in Europe and North America. If the game gets a high score, it can become a must-buy game and possibly generate synergy with sales. So we're currently working hard to improve the quality of the game towards its sales for the holiday season." Jeez. These comments follow a lack of critical success for the Sonic team developed mainline games. The investor question specifically mentions Metacritic scores, with the latest two main series games, Sonic Lost World and Sonic Forces, scoring in the low 60s and mid 50s respectively on the website. Pretty bad. The same can't be said for Sumo Digital's Team Sonic Racing from 2019 and the Sega published Sonic Mania from 2017, both of which scored average and high aggregate scores. Outside of a trailer from last year, very little is known about Sonic Frontiers, but Sega has said that it will be an open zone take on the franchise. It's also been confirmed that the game is still set to release this year, with news coming soon. Sonic Origins is the other franchise game set to come to Sega this year, as the Hedgehog's first 4 entries are being remastered and revamped for modern consoles this June. If I remember correctly, all the games that are being included in Sonic Origins are actually being pulled off platforms at this point, because they're going to be included in this comprehensive title, Sonic Origins, right? So I can't remember when that's happening specifically, but all the titles that are part of Sonic Origins are going to be pulled out off of Steam, console stores, things like that, because they're going to be in this package of Sonic Origins. Yeah, okay. So we'll see. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, I would say we will see more probably new content regarding Sonic Frontiers in these showcases that are happening in June. More than likely. Especially if this game is still set to be released later this year, we will probably see a little bit of gameplay, I would imagine, coming up in the showcases in June. June 2022 is shaping up to be a massive month for gaming. June is traditionally a big time for the gaming industry in terms of new game reveals and announcements. Almost every year since '95, June has played host to E3, right? Which is not happening this year, we know. Recent years have thrown a wrench in the plans as E3 is canceled, yes. E3 has said they're coming back in 2023. I am not betting on that. I'm going to be honest. I think that E3 is having a tough time pulling all this stuff together anymore. And I think a lot of other devs have just decided to kind of create their own showcases and be okay with that. So E3 might not be a thing anymore. We'll see. We'll see. Even with no E3 this year, gaming fans still have a lot to look forward to in June. It is shaping up to be an absolutely massive month for gaming industry, the gaming industry, based on what's been announced so far. Summer Game Fest on June 9th, Xbox and Bethesda Showcase on June 12th, Overwatch 2 event June 16th, Final Fantasy announcement, TBA. Here, let me just give you guys, again, I'll continue throwing this in chat and putting it out in the community so everybody knows. That's a better comprehensive list of a lot of the things you'll be able to find for showcases coming up in the next coming months, okay? This isn't all by any, not even close. There are a lot coming in June and July. June 2022 is still going to be a time of huge game reveals and announcements, and so fans have plenty to look forward to next month. First big announced for June 2022 is Summer Games Fest with presented by Jeff Keighley, which kicks off with a special presentation on June 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific. It'll also be in select IMAX theaters if you're interested in watching it that way. Plenty of big announcements, yes. A few days later, we get the Bethesda Xbox Showcase. Yeah. A lot of this was to promote Starfield. Starfield has now been delayed till 2023. A lot of things we were hearing about Starfield was that it was not great right now. And Bethesda needs a game to be good. They have really, really fallen off as a dev, in many people's opinions, mine included. So, there's always a bit of disappointment if you're kind of hyped around a game. I'm not hyped about Starfield, so I could care less. But if you are hyped about a game at all and it gets delayed, that can feel a bit bad. But across the board, man, if a dev feels like a game is not ready to be released, they should be delaying it. Don't release it a mess. Delay it, improve it, polish it. That's what we want, man. June 16th, we get the Blizzard Overwatch Showcase. And finally, it's been confirmed that some kind of announcement related to Final Fantasy VII's 25th anniversary will be coming next month. Fans have their fingers crossed that the announcement will be related to Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. They may want to keep their expectations in check. Whatever's in store, Final Fantasy fans should keep an eye out for an announcement at some point next month. Besides the big gaming events that have been confirmed, there are also events that are rumored to be taking place in June but have not been officially announced. Rumored that Sony may host a State of PlayStation presentation in June. Also rumored Nintendo may host an E3 equivalent Nintendo Direct presentation at some point next month. Nintendo has Nintendo Direct showcases quite often. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I always think about too, Overthinker. I mean, you talk about Cyberpunk, No Man's Land. There are plenty, Anthem, right? There are plenty of examples of why games absolutely should not be pushed out to meet a deadline or whatever, right? Uh, Delay it. Take the time to make the best game you can present to us as your consumer, right? Uh, we don't want to have, we don't want to feel cheated. We don't want to feel cheated by spending money on games that come out a hot mess, which has happened time and time again, right? We don't want to feel cheated. We want the best experience possible. So they need and that's why so many of these devs now have a terrible name or a terrible taste for us because they've done that in the past. And we've come to expect the same thing moving forward now, right? Um, Nintendo has consistently been. I mean, so does PlayStation, but Nintendo's recent showcases and Nintendo Direct presentations have been very meh, as far as I'm concerned. I haven't seen a whole lot from Nintendo, um, and maybe it's because they're doing too many of them. Maybe they need to save a lot of their content for like only once or twice a year to showcase. I don't know. But a lot of what I've seen from the Nintendo Direct stuff, it's made me to where I don't even really care to watch them anymore. They're just very bland. They don't ever come across as showing me anything to get hyped about, really. So I don't know. Other big game companies are also expected to throw their hats in the ring, though it's unclear if they will host their own presentations or piggyback off things like the Xbox Bethesda Game Showcase and Summer Games Fest. Yeah. All right. New video game releases for June. All right. Oh, okay. Let's hit this. Also, been heavily rumored that Activision will be unveiling Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, with leaker Tom Henderson pointing to a June 8th reveal date for the new FPS. Latest leaks and rumors surrounding Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 reveal suggest that the initial reveal will focus primarily on the campaign, with a proper multiplayer unveiling happening later this summer. The reveal itself has not even been announced yet, though, so Call of Duty fans should keep that in mind. New video game releases for June. Diablo Immortal on June 2nd. Do you remember the announcement of Diablo Immortal being like a mobile game and everything? Everybody was hyped. They're like, oh, they're going to announce, some new games, and they were like, we're bringing a new mobile game. And they were like, everybody, all the gamers were like, what? What? Mario Strikers on June 10th. The Quarry June 10th. Fall Guys June 21st. Okay, this is the thing. The June 21st Fall Guys thing, okay? This is what this is about. Fall Guys is being taken off Steam. If you have it on Steam already, it'll still be playable, okay? It'll still be updated, everything like that. But Fall Guys is becoming an Epic Games exclusive, right? Other titles have done this in the past. We're talking about games like Rocket League, right? Rocket League used to be a game that was on Steam. It's just Epic now, solely. But if you have it on Steam, it's still playable. It's still updated, right? It's not a big deal. Just know that the reason Fall Guys is on here is because it's being taken off Steam and put on Epic Games solely. That's where you'll get it moving forward. 10 Win, what's up, buddy? Diablo Immortal isn't a big issue in theory. The problem people have is that it came. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean that's kind of what I was getting at. I guess I wasn't specific enough. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it was because what people were expecting from it, right? It's not necessarily. I mean, this is the other thing. Um, there's a huge market for mobile games, right? But Blizzard hadn't ever really gotten into that territory. Blizzard was always known to present us with PC. Okay. Okay, I forgot about her. I'm saying primarily, dude. Primarily, right? Primarily. I wasn't thinking about Hearthstone, and you're right. I said primarily. primarily their titles up to that point they hadn't taken a big deep dive into doing mobile or anything. And you're right, the expectation was that it was going to be a new Diablo announcement, and then yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, but primarily that company was about, and again, I wasn't surprised necessarily to see them try to pivot into mobile. There's a ton of money in the mobile gaming area. So, but yeah, that was the big thing that got everybody kind of upset, was that they were expecting a new Diablo announcement for like Diablo 4 kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Sonic Origins, June 23rd. Capcom, which we just talked about, right? Capcom Fighting Collection, June 24th. Fire Emblem Warriors, Three Hopes, June 24th. Monster Hunter Rise, Sunbreak, June 30th. Lego Brawls, TBA. Gaming news events are exciting because they give fans a peek at future games they will be able to play, but it's safe to say most are interested in games that they will be able to play in the near future. June 2022 is traditionally not a very busy month for new game releases. That holds true this year. There are still some notable titles that fans may want to check out. Um, yeah, I mean, it's more a time for promoting upcoming games and everything, right? I mean, and that's kind of what I was hitting at whenever we pulled this up initially when we were searching for articles this morning. Was it's not necessarily going to be a lot of game releases. It's about the showcases showing what games are in development and being brought to us later, right? That's a lot of what's kind of hyped about next month. So also the PS new PlayStation subscription service kind of hits the ground running. I think if I remember correctly, yeah, it's different across the world, right? Those in Asian markets can check out the new tiers as early as like tomorrow, while what is it? Japan June 1st. Americas have access to the new tiers on June 13th, and Europe will get them on June 22nd. So basically, it's like being rolled out across the world over the next month. And just depending on where you live, right, is when you'll get access to the new PlayStation subscription service. Yeah. So there we go. PlayStation Plus, free PS4 and PS5 games we may get for June 2022. So next month. May is almost over, which means June is almost here. Despite this, we still don't know what June's free PlayStation Plus games are going to be on PS4 and PS5. If the lineup doesn't leak early, which it usually does, then it should be officially unveiled sometime next week or Monday, Tuesday of the following week. Before this happens or before it leaks, we've gone ahead and pulled the games we think may be included next month. PlayStation Plus Extra and Plus Premium both launch next month. Remains to be seen what impact this will have on the monthly free PS Plus games in terms of quality and quantity. For next month specifically, it's possible Sony will go with a quiet lineup not to detract from PlayStation Plus Extra and PlayStation Plus Premium. On the other hand, it may view it as an opportunity to get some PlayStation Plus buzz generating. So far, this year has been inconsistent for PlayStation Plus. Been some great months featuring some great games. There's also been months more reminiscent of the underwhelming lineup Xbox Live Gold has been putting out. Chivalry 2, set to celebrate its one-year anniversary the day after June's PlayStation Plus games go live. What better way to drum up excitement for the anniversary by making the game free on PlayStation Plus? Game boasts a healthy player base, but how many new players is it still attracting at this point? Considering this, and considering that Sony likes to include at least one multiplayer game every month, Chivalry 2 seems like a likely candidate. AI Somnium Files is a sequel coming out soon that is seemingly not generating a ton of buzz. Those that played the first game will know its quality and appeal goes beyond its popularity. A few years after release, it's probably not selling many copies. The sequel is unlikely to change that unless it's a Game of the Year contender. So why not use PS Plus as the first game to build some excitement for the sequel? Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, like Chivalry, Rift Apart is celebrating its one-year anniversary, making now a good time for it to go free on PS Plus. depending on how well it's still selling. Sony needs a PS5 game for the lineup, and there aren't many compelling ones left to pick. However, this game isn't through its deep sell cycle yet, which may limit its chances. 2 Point Hospital. 2 Point University was recently delayed to August. What better way to make up for that and promote the release than making its predecessor free via PS Plus? These are just predictions based on basic observations, general knowledge of the industry, and the history of the subscription service. This is not a leak or based on any leak or rumor. In the past, channeling the three things above, we've made accurate predictions, but the law of probability means more often than not, we miss the mark. So that's just kind of their thoughts and predictions. Don't put a ton of salt into or a ton of stock into this necessarily being the case, right? But we'll see. We'll see. Um, yeah, right on. That's pretty cool, Timwin. Right on, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's cool, buddy. Neat, neat. Lord of the Rings Gollum Insider teases imminent news. I'm not surprised here. Again, this game is set to release later this year, and with the showcases coming up in June, we're going to see a lot of this kind of stuff. Gollum will reportedly be getting some new details and possibly a trailer very soon. Gollum is one of the most famous characters from the Lord of the Rings series, partially thanks to the performance of Andy Serkis in the films, but he's not necessarily the character people would jump to for his own video game. He's a little slimy, creepy hobbit who is more mischievous than he is dangerous, at least in the way one might expect for a video game protagonist. With that said, developer Daedalic came up with an idea to give the character life within the gaming medium. There's still a lot of unknowns regarding the game, but some new details might be coming soon. According to Tom Henderson, a media event was recently held for the game, meaning some impressions of the title are on the way. Henderson also noted that it's likely these impressions will arrive alongside a new trailer for the game, likely on May 24th. This should hopefully paint a better picture of Gollum's gaming adventure for fans trying to wrap their brain around the title. Gollum previously appeared in Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War as a supporting character, but wasn't playable. It's heavily expected that Lord of the Rings Gollum will play as more of a stealth game, allowing players to embrace Gollum's more cunning nature rather than making him a brawler. The game is also expected to take place before the events of the Lord of the Rings books and films, so this will fill in some of the gaps of his story. Probably a new trailer. Yeah, I figure we're going to get, again, I think there are going to be many games that we've only seen uh, cinematic kind of trailers of so far, whether it be like Sonic Frontiers, we were just talking about Gollum, maybe even like oh man, why can I not think of that game right now? Avatar, stuff like that, potentially. Where there's some, I mean, we're gonna get a lot of games that we've only seen kind of cinematics of to this point, where they're gonna start showing us gameplay, right? You got it, gamer? You good, buddy? I wasn't sure what game site were you talking about. Certainly a unique story to tell within Tolkien's incredibly rich fantasy universe. With such a unique idea, Daedalic must be confident in its story and gameplay. There are already plenty of great games set in the world of Lord of the Rings, so the bar is high, and Lord of the Rings fans can be quite picky when it comes to telling new stories within that universe. Yeah, EA is actually releasing, I think it was EA, releasing a new Lord of the Rings mobile game soon as well. Are you excited for the Lord of the Rings Gollum? I am. All right, here we go. Last article I have pulled up, okay? So if any of you have anything pertinent for industry news that maybe I didn't come across yet, let me know in chat and we'll see about taking a look at it before we move on to our gaming segment with Lost Ark today, okay? Nintendo has sold 5.4 billion NES video games to Switch. Nintendo has sold roughly 5.4 billion video games across all of its portable and console systems, according to financial reports. has sold billions of games over its tremendous history of hardware from the early days of the NES to the contemporary Switch. According to recent figures, Nintendo has sold roughly 5.4 billion video games across all of its portable and console platforms. With 822.818 million copies sold to date, the Nintendo Switch is presently the number 3 platform in software sales, according to our estimations. Wii comes in second with 920.81 million, while the DS takes first with 948.76 million. Derek, yeah, this is just talk of what? These numbers actually put Nintendo in second place, although Nintendo has been on the market for many years before Sony. PlayStation platform has sold an estimated 5.71 billion games. Sony has a 300 million plus lead over Nintendo. Prices scanned last scanned on 521. So yesterday, prices may not be accurate. Click links above for the latest price. Yeah. Okay. That's a lot of games, man. That's a lot of games. Anybody have anything else? And Tinwin, man, I'm glad you're still enjoying the game. The boss sounds pretty crazy, man. Tinwin talking about V Rising game, which we've been keeping track of, and seemed like a pretty cool little adventure. We might jump into it at some time before too long. Tinwin's been loving it. I think probably well over 40 hours at this point. Yeah. It looks like a cool game. Diablo Valheim kind of mashup experience going on. Real nice RPG, ARPG stuff in it, I think. So Tinwin's been keeping us up to date with his experience, and I appreciate that very much. Yeah, seems like a pretty cool game for sure. Anything else? Anything else? I think that's going to do it. Again, as always, you guys are amazing. I appreciate everybody that always here for the content, and I love doing the news with everybody. Staying current on what's going on in the industry that we love is very important to me, and I appreciate having the community here to you know talk about some of the things we come across and you know enjoy and be a part of what I love so much as well. So thank you all very much. We're going to move on to our gaming segment. It'll be Lost Ark today. We're going to create our first alternate character, which will be the new subclass that just got released, the Destroyer, the Warrior subclass. So we're going to hop into that. Before we get there, if you are not moving on with us to the Lost Ark content, or if you are viewing this as a VOD later on YouTube, then stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another. If you are checking it out as a VOD later on, then and you're enjoying the content, do me a favor and consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Maybe leave me a comment so we can have a bit of a discussion regarding the topics we came across today. And other than that, we will see everybody tomorrow for our next segment of video gaming news. And it'll be like day 8 of Valheim, I think. Day 8.